All right, let's talk about something we all know, maybe a little too well: boredom. But here's a wild thought. What if I told you that feeling, you know the one, is actually a pretty modern invention? That it hasn't always felt this way? I mean, really think about it. That restless, empty feeling when you're just stuck. It seems so universal, right? Like people have felt this way forever. But nope. The history of philosophy tells a totally different story. The kind of boredom we deal with today, it literally didn't even exist a few hundred years ago.
So, today we talk about boredom being simple and democratic. And yeah, that makes sense. It's something we can all relate to. It's this super common feeling that kind of colors our whole day sometimes. This is our starting point, but you're about to see just how far we've come from where this whole idea started.
Okay, so to really get a handle on our boredom, we've got to go back in time and look at all the different faces it's worn. Because believe it or not, this wasn't always about just having a slow afternoon with nothing to do. It used to be about life and death and even the fate of your soul.
So here's the game plan. Think of it like a roadmap. We're going to do a quick tour through 4 major eras. We'll see how this feeling went from being a problem for the super rich, to a sin for monks, then a sign of genius, and finally, to the big existential thing we all wrestle with now.
First stop, ancient Rome. Now get this, boredom wasn't for everybody back then. It was basically an exclusive club for the wealthy elite. Philosophers like Seneca talked about something called tedium. Imagine being so tired of your own luxurious, predictable life, just this deep, profound weariness. It was so bad it could make someone travel constantly just to run away from themselves, or, in the darkest cases, even lead to suicide. Wow. Okay, let's jump forward to the Middle Ages, where the stakes get, way higher. Suddenly, boredom isn't just a personal problem, it's a spiritual battle. For monks living in quiet monasteries, there was this thing called acedia. It means a deep lack of care, and it was seen as one of the most dangerous sins you could commit. They called it the noonday demon because it would creep in during the middle of the day, making them want to give up on everything. This wasn't just feeling blah, it was a full-on threat to their soul.
Then comes the Renaissance, and bam, the feeling totally changes its look again. The focus shifts away from the soul and lands squarely on the body and the mind. That old spiritual sin, acedia, kind of evolves into melancholy. At first, they thought of it as a physical thing, like your body's chemistry was out of whack. But here's the twist. Melancholy also got linked with genius and creativity. All of a sudden, feeling this way wasn't a sin anymore. It was almost a badge of honor, proof you were some kind of tortured, brilliant artist or thinker. And this is where things start to sound a lot more familiar. We're getting closer to our own time. In the modern era, boredom pulls another shapeshift. Now it's not just about being unhappy with your life or worried about your soul, it's about being unhappy with existence itself, with time. The very ticking of the clock becomes the problem. This period actually gave us 2 really important new words for this feeling. First, from German, we get Langeweile. It literally means long while, and it perfectly captures that feeling of time just dragging on, stretching out into nothing. Then from French, we get ennui, and oh boy, ennui is a whole other level. It's this deep, heavy weariness with everything, with life itself. So you've got one that's about the clock and another that's about your entire being. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer just nailed this modern dilemma. He pictured life like a pendulum, swinging back and forth. On one side, you have the pain of wanting something you don't have. On the other side, the boredom of having finally gotten it. Oof. From this point of view, boredom isn't some random feeling that happens to you. No, it's a basic, unavoidable part of being alive. All right, so once we hit the 20th century, people started to get really analytical about this. Thinkers began to look inward, right into the mind itself. They started using these new tools from psychology and philosophy to try and figure out what is actually going on inside our heads when we feel bored. And this whole investigation basically split into 3 main camps. You had the psychoanalysts, who thought boredom was a sign of some inner conflict, like you're pushing down a desire you don't want to admit you have. Then you had the existentialists, who had a much spookier take. For them, boredom is what happens when the noise stops, the distractions go away, and you're left face to face with the terrifying idea that maybe life is pointless. Yikes. And finally, the phenomenologists saw it as this really fundamental mood, almost like a special pair of glasses that, when you put them on, reveals some deep truths about your relationship with the world. But wait, the story doesn't stop there.
Because in just the last few decades, a totally new idea has popped up and it completely flips the script on boredom. What if it's not a flaw? What if it's not a curse or a sign of some deep problem? What if it's actually a feature, something that's supposed to be there? What if it's useful?
So what this means is that all those old, purely negative ideas about boredom, that it's a sin or a disease or proof that life is meaningless, they're starting to get pushed aside. And in their place is a much more functional and, dare I say, even positive way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's right. Modern psychology is now telling us that boredom is actually an adaptive emotion. It's not just useless noise in your head. It's a signal, a really clear, powerful signal from your brain. And it's telling you one simple thing: something needs to change. This whole idea has a name. It's called the regulatory theory of boredom. And basically, it says that boredom is a psychological state that's designed to, regulate us. It's like an alarm bell going off inside your head. It's saying, hey, what you're doing right now, it's not cutting it. It's not engaging, it's not satisfying, and it's definitely not meaningful. It is time to find a new goal. So, what's the point of it all? What is boredom for? Well, it's a push. It's the kick in the pants we need to go find new challenges, to set new goals. The stuff that's essential for us to actually grow. Some psychologists even call it a crisis of agency, that feeling when you're just a passenger in your own life. And that uncomfortable feeling? That's the exact thing that lights a fire under you to grab the steering wheel and find something that actually matters. I love how the philosopher Walter Benjamin put it. He called boredom a threshold of great deeds. Isn't that great? It's that quiet, empty moment, the pause, where new ideas and real motivation can finally start to grow. It's not the end of the line for activity, it's the launch pad. So think about the journey we've just been on. We've seen boredom go from being a rich person's problem to a deadly sin to an existential crisis. And now, finally, to a useful signal from our own brain. So here's my challenge to you. The next time that feeling starts creeping in, before you automatically reach for your phone to kill the feeling, just stop. Pause for a second and listen to it. Because it's not just telling you that you're bored. It might just be telling you what you need to do next, or even who you need to become.